Today I'll be playing the Jujutsu Kaisen Minecraft mod as the King of Curses Sukuna. The main objective of my run is going to beat any form of the strongest sorcerer Gojo, defeat Yuji Itadori, Megami Fushiguro, and retain all 20 fingers scattered across the world. And once I claim all 20 fingers, I'll regain all my power, and you won't believe what happens when I do. Spawning in, you can see I put on a Sukuna skin for the video, and immediately I choose Sukuna as my player character. I'm gonna put on the uniform for now, but once I feel like I'm strong enough, I'll take it off. Sukuna is given strength, resistance, and health boost off the bat. Like most characters, Sukuna is given a few melee attacks, but what makes him different are his cleave and dismantle techniques. Dismantle is the default slash Sukuna uses. Cleave is a more precise version of the cut that adjusts itself depending on the level of cursed energy of the opponent. I test cleave out on these flying cursed spirits and they aren't strong enough. I find this interesting place with a ton of weak level curses inside. The first mistake I made was fighting Onigi Zenin when I just started the playthrough. Having 0 fingers, I was still weak myself compared to other sorcerers. I entered the shopping complex that Yuta and Inumaki went into the movie Zero with, and I see a ton of flying fishes and the curses that caused them a lot of trouble. It's the cursed spirit called Mammoth. With a bit of trouble, I end up defeating it, and with that I advance all the way to Fame level 1 and become a grade 3 sorcerer. Not that those advancements matter at all, because once you consume a finger, they don't apply to Sukuna. After exploring for a while, I find the curse Getso used in hidden inventory called Rainbow Dragon, and I use a few dismantles in order to fight it. Another one comes out of nowhere to fight, and I end up fleeing because right now I can't take on both of them. I go back to the area where Junichi Zenin defeated me and I get defeated by Jogo, which makes for a good transition to show you what Sukuna's other technique is. It's called Open. It summons a flaming arrow out of a black box, which causes devastating destructive power. I use Fire Arrow again on a curse called Big Mouth, and yeah, as you can see, it makes easy work of these low level curses. I use it on Maki Zenin and defeat her, easily getting the achievement for it. I was low on cursed energy, so it made for the perfect opportunity for these low level cursed spirits to team on me. So after that, they end up defeating me. I saw wooden spears flying throughout the floor, so I knew cursed spirit Hanami was in the area. I used Fire Arrow immediately in order to get some damage on it. However, I was in for a surprise while in the midst of all this chaos. Gojo Satoru shows up. I used Flame Arrow on him, but because of his infinity, it does no damage. I don't have domain amplification or domain expansion, so I literally can't hit him at all. So for now, I retreat until I can pierce infinity. I tried to fight Yuji Itadori, but I was low on cursed energy, so I lost. But on the bright side, I ended up getting simple domain. The Rainbow Dragon curse from earlier comes back to fight me, but I defeat it this time and advance to semi-grade 2 sorcerer. I enter the prison where the finger bearer is located, and instantly he pushes me off the ledge. This is perfect because the finger bearer has one of the fingers, so just like the anime, Sukuna himself is gonna execute the finger bearer. Juzoro interrupts the battle, and because he made the finger bearer weak, I end up defeating both of them. And just like that, I end up getting my first finger. With the first finger collected, I get Observation of the Soul, which means I could get Black Flash, and now I have 19 more fingers to collect. While I was trying to escape, the principal from Jujutsu School came to attack me. But for the first time, I used my domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine. The way Malevolent Shrine works is that it cuts everything within a certain radius. As you can see, it causes an insane amount of destruction. Mei comes in to finish the job, but she also ends up getting defeated. I find this interesting cave with the curse that Yuji fought in Shibuya, and with a single flame arrow I was able to defeat him. I made my way to another prison to acquire another finger. Luckily the curse was already at the door, so I didn't have to find him. I used domain expansion in order to defeat him easily, and end up destroying the prison again. And with that, I have now consumed 2 fingers. I find this weird curse by the graveyard and I end up defeating him with a single fire arrow. It seems that in terms of pure damage, fire arrow is my strongest attack. Feeling like taking a souvenir with me, I pick up the flower pot in the graveyard. I find this spot with over 100 of those fish curses, but end up defeating all of them with a single fire arrow and collect all of their XP. I decided I wanted to live in one of those houses, so I put the flower pot down to settle in. While exploring the area, I find Sorcerer Miwa and realize that Sukuna is not the type to live in a house. I use Malevolent Shrine and destroy everything in the area. I went into third person and Sukuna is insanely fast. Miwa seems to want revenge for what happened, so she attempts to fight me again, but of course it goes the same way it did the first time. I start a battle with Sorcerer Naoya Zenin and I get sent flying into the air. I use Flame Arrow mid-air in order to get some damage in, but Naoya is so fast it seems I couldn't land the hit. Even though I'm pretty sure I didn't hit it, he still ended up dying, probably due to the radius of the fire arrow. After this, I found a battle between the Divine General Mahoraga and Toji Fushiguro, which means just like the anime, Toji backed Megumi into a corner and made him summon Mahoraga. I use Domain Expansion and it does a ton of damage to Mahoraga. I have to defeat him before he can adapt to my cuts from my Domain Expansion, because if I don't, then there's no way for me to defeat him. Everything goes to plan and I end up defeating Mahoraga, and shortly after that, Toji as well. Toji ended up dropping Playful Cloud, his signature weapon. I know it's weird for Sukuna to use Playful Cloud, but they're so cool I can't help it. I fight Megumi and he summons his Snake Shikigami and traps me inside after I break out. I'm able to land some hits on him with Cleave, but because I was low on cursed energy from my previous battle, I'm unable to defeat Mahoraga at this time. It also doesn't help that Sorcerer Getsu was also here. I attempt to fight Kulingame Maki, and to commence the battle I use Flame Arrow, but after using my Domain Expansion, I defeated her pretty easily. Jogo defeated me earlier pretty easily when I had no finger, so it was now time to get my revenge. He sends a barrage of fire my way and I knew it wasn't going to be an easy battle. However, I used a move Jogo did not expect me to use, since my technique was Cleave and Dismantle. Our battle goes back and forth for a long time, but it gets interrupted by Naoya Zenin. Naoya interrupting gives Jogo the upper hand in the battle. He seizes this opportunity and summons a meteor with his maximum technique. I knew I had to run as fast as I could or else I was going to get one shot by this. I tried to attack him with Playful Cloud, but he ends up defeating me. I blame this on Naoya for interrupting me, which happens a lot in this mod. I mean, to be fair, it is Jujutsu Kaisen. After I respawn though, I defeat Yuji Itadori with a Flame Arrow. Shortly after this, I also defeat the old man at Shibuya. I was trying to get one more finger, but I encountered Toji Fushiguro. I'm not sure why, but I didn't use the Domain Expansion, so he ended up defeating me. I go back to the prison and I was swarmed by curses. I end up defeating another finger bearer, acquiring one more finger. As you can see, Sukuna gets a ton of buffs. The more he consumes more fingers, the more buffs he gets. There was a ravine between me and one of the prison, so I had to build something, but Sukuna building in Minecraft is just an interesting thought. And just like that, I defeat the finger bearer, acquiring my fourth finger. There was a crazy battle going on between Hanami and Nanami. During this, Sorcerer Getsu shows up and summons a ton of cursed spirits. I use Domain Expansion and I defeat him quite easily. Just like Sukuna, I defeat Yuji one more time just for fun. It seems that Aoi Todo found out, so he was pretty upset about his brother being defeated. So he was doing a ton of damage. Me and Todo go back and forth for a while exchanging blows. Then I use Reverse Curse technique which heals me, but uses my cursed energy. I used a Flame Arrow on Aoi Todo, and just like what happened in Shibuya, when he dropped his pendant, I got stunned by it. Thanks to the comments for pointing that out, I was pretty confused. I genuinely thought it was a glitch. I pick up Todo's pendant and I run off with it onto my next battle. Then that's when I find him, Satoru Gojo. I use Malevolent Shrine to get some early damage in, but he counters with Simple Domain. The reason he uses Simple Domain is so he doesn't get attacked by my slashes, meaning I'm still unable to do any damage to him. While he does this, he sends Reversal Red, sending me flying away, and for a while, I can't attack him at all because of his infinity. He sends purple my way, leaving me at half a heart, giving me the achievement for Reverse Curse technique. Even though I just survived, he was able to defeat me. I lose to Gojo, for now. I then find Hajime Kashimo and he instantly uses his curse technique to begin the battle. He sends me flying away with his hands, and then I use Flame Arrow to counter the attack, which does a good amount of damage. Then Ryu Ishigori, who's a special grade curse sorcerer, joins the battle as well. I use Malevolent Shrine to defeat both of them and unlock Mastery of Domain Expansion. I was in another battle with Naobito Zenin, and I unlocked Reversed Curse Technique level 2, which means I can heal faster than I usually do. After this, in order to gain more power, I consume fingers 5, 6, and 7. Special grade Curse Spirit Mahito begins to attack me, and we exchange blows for a while, until I use Flame Arrow to do more damage. Then I follow up with Malevolent Shrine, and he uses his domain, Self-Embodiment of Perfection, to counter. I destroy his domain because mine is able to destroy it from the outside. He then enters his complete form, but it's still not enough to defeat me, and with that, Mahito was defeated. Naobito Zenin tries to fight me for like the 5th time, but I made quick work of him. I then settled down in the area that I destroyed earlier in order to store my item. Then I find this cute rabbit from Megami, which I see as a good omen, but Sukuna doesn't believe in those, so I had to cleave it. Nanami tries to exercise me, but just as you'd expect Nanami versus Sukuna would go, I easily defeat him. Toge Inumaki tried to defeat me using his cursed speech, but defeating him would be too easy, so I spared him. I built another nether portal because last time I went to the nether where there were strong opponents spawning frequently. But before I left, I wanted to fight special grade sorcerer Yuki Tsukimoto, who has a very interesting fighting style. Gojo then joins the battle and it becomes a 2v1, 2 special grades versus Sukuna. I'm low on health because Yuki does so much damage, so I have to use RCT in order to heal. Then I use Malevolent Shrine, which gets both of them low. Yuki falls before Gojo, but then I'm finally able to defeat Gojo Satoru. This isn't even his strongest version. I'm still going to try to fight the other one. I went to the nether, but there was really nothing there to find like last time. For some reason, Panda was fighting Maki Zenin, which doesn't make sense at all because they are from the same school. Things are looking good since I was close to reaching my full powered form. I find a single rabbit again, but I don't kill it this time because it's an omen of good luck. I go to school and find a ton of items in chests, like potions and potion ingredients. They even have room labels for what classes you wanted to take. After doing some exploring in the school, I was attacked by a ton of curses and students, so I used Malevolent Shrine to destroy the entire school. Aoi Todo was still left standing, so I spared him and went about my way. I then find fingers 8 through 12, but on the 12th finger I got attacked by Todo and Naoya. This is a perfect time to demonstrate just how much more powerful the fingers make me. I defeat them both with my shrine in a matter of seconds. Sometime during this battle I acquired a robe, so I took off my Jujutsu Tech uniform and I am now in my Heian era attire. Just a few more fingers and I'm almost at full power. I get one more finger and after this, I find a full powered Satoru Gojo. I use Malevolent Shrine because it's the only way to hit him, but he counters immediately with his own, Infinite Void. I'm able to break his domain barrier from the outside, but once my domain runs out, there's no way for me to hit him. So for the most part, if my domain is not up, I'm trying to run away while the cooldown is still up. This is where Heian era Sukuna shows up in the middle of our battle and uses his own shrine to defeat us both easily. Yeah, I don't know why, but this playthrough just didn't want me to have one-on-one fights. I find one more finger on the floor. This is where the battle between me and another version of Sukuna begins. We both use our domain expansion, causing a huge hole to be made like the one in Shibuya, but double the size actually because there's 2 of us. We go back and forth for a while and then we see Rika, the Queen of Curses, show up. This means Yuta Okotsu has now entered the battle. Yuta and Rika get defeated, so it's just me and Sukuna again. I regain my health with RCT and use Fire Arrow for some damage. And just when everything was going to plan, Todo comes in and swaps places with Sukuna and stuns me like earlier, causing me to lose the fight. After this, I collected fingers 15, 16, 17 and 18. In order to test my power, I fight Jogo, but unlike earlier, he uses domain expansion and I'm easily able to break it from the outside. Stand proud, Gojo. You're strong. After this, I find the same version of Sukuna I was fighting earlier fight another finger bearer. So I take it from him and now I'm at 19 fingers. I use domain expansion and he doesn't stand a chance. This is when Heian era Sukuna interrupts the battle again and defeats me. You guys did explain how it's almost impossible to defeat him in this mod because of how broken he is. I had one more finger left to collect, so I head to the final finger bearer. I defeated it easily and just like that, it was time for me to consume the final finger. Now, the challenge was officially complete. Even though I have now completed all of my goals for this video, there was still one more thing I wanted to do. It was to defeat the strongest version of Gojo. So it was almost time for the final battle to commence. But before that, I went to the wiki to make sure I didn't miss out on any moves like last time. And then there he was, Satoru Gojo. Now it's time to commence the battle between the strongest sorcerer in history versus the strongest sorcerer of today. We instantly entered a domain clash, allowing me to hit its barrier from the outside. Inside the barrier, we were exchanging attacks for the while. After Gojo's domain broke and mine ran out, I was unable to hit him for a while, so like earlier, I had to run away. I used all of my moves, reverse curse technique, the dodge mechanic. I was locked in. Well, that was until I used flame arrow inside my domain, and I'm not sure if I damaged my own domain or mine just ran out before his, but it was too late. Infinite Void landed, and I was filled with constant information and was paralyzed, unable to move, and I lost. But it wasn't over. I thought back to the bunny from earlier, and I realized it was trying to give me a warning. Next time, with the help of a certain sorcerer, I'll be able to bypass Gojo's infinity.